All right, in this video, let's talk a little bit about the transaction log. Last time, my last video was more what it is structurally. This we're actually going to take a look at an actual transaction log and use some dbcc commands to take a look at it, dig into it a little more. So we have the name of our log file here. Its size is set to 10 megabytes, and you'll see why in a minute. Why I'm doing that on purpose. So let's take a look at SQL perf, and this will tell us information about the logs. It gives us the log size. You can see the log size for the database I just created, or the log file specifically, is right at 10, 9, a little less. The log space, status, and now let's take a look at the a little more interesting, the log info. So here we have the recovery unit ID at the first column, and this is something in SQL Server that has not been implemented yet. So for now, this will always be a 0. The file ID of the transaction log, the size of each of the individual files, and you can see the VLFs, the size of each of the VLFs is right at right near 2.5, right? So the starting offset of the file header page, the sequence number, the file sequence number, and this will this number is the highest. It's kind of interesting how they do that. The number, the highest VLF sequence number in the model database plus 1. All right, so the status will be 0. 0 is inactive, 2 is active. Remember, we talked about in the last video that when you create a database, there must always be one active part of the one active VLF, and this is him. All right, so we've got the parity bit. The first time that a database is used, the first time that I should say that, not the database, the first time this file is used, it will be 64. When it is deactivated and then is reactivated, it'll be 128, and it will go back and forth between those. So we have the create LSN. When a database is created for the first time, we're going to have zeros here. After that, we're not going to have zeros, non-zeros. So remember when we talked about why we only have 4 of these VLFs? Well, there is a formula for that. So let's talk a little bit about that now. So if you create a log file, my initial log file up here is 10 megs. So if you create a log file and it is less than 64 megs, then you get 4 VLFs. If it is from 64 meg to a gig, then you get 8 VLFs. And a gig or more, you get 16 VLFs. And that is always true. It can't be changed by you or I. There is no easy button to go in and change that number. That's just the way it is. So now let's grow this. Let's grow the file, the log file, to see if we get a few more VLFs. And look at that, 4 more. All right, so now we're up to 8, and you'll see something interesting here. We have the create LSN, right? I said will be 0 the first time it's created, and then after that, it will be a non-zero number. All right, so that's a little bit, hopefully that was a little quick insight into the transaction log and the VLFs. And if you enjoyed this and you want a deeper dive, then certainly check out Paul Randall's Logging Recovery and the Transaction Log on Pluralsight. Hey, thanks for watching.